Linda and Laura.
Okay. So I will start and welcome everybody to the member committee. My name is Laura Torres de Rivera, and you know Linda Duckworth. We are the outgoing membership committee, and the incoming is Martha Parker-Lover and Mary Fever, and Bridget, you know, is the vice president.
And Martha is here on this session.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm here.
Okay, this is Martha. Hello, Martha.
Hello, hello, Laura.
Okay, our agenda today is telling you about us, the general overview, intro to the local league, get to know about your mixes, what we do, and our program, and how to get involved. Tell you about us, and let's start with the basics. Let's see a little video.
Okay, we'll see how my technology does at this.
Those, you know, sometimes technology makes tricks. So,
one moment.
oh, we can understand.
It's gonna be fine.
Yes. Okay, let's see.
"100 years ago, the League of Women Voters was founded by suffragists who believed in the power of women to create a more perfect democracy. Throughout the last century, we've never stopped moving towards a future where every person in our country is empowered to play a critical role in shaping our democracy. Today, LWV activists throughout the United States are working to expand voting rights, ensure fair representation in government, and push for a more equitable and just political system. This progress is in our DNA, just as our founders did 100 years ago. Today, our activists are shaping the future of voting rights in America. See how their story could be yours."
I don't know whether you could hear that very well. You could? Okay. Great.
Yeah, it was great.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, so no problem.
I'm going to tell you the women they featured at the very end there, I've met every single one of them because I've been to conventions and I've served on national committees, and it's
Wonderful.
sometimes I say about myself, I'm all league all the time, which is not entirely true, but sometimes it does seem a bit much to me. I'm sure it does to other people too. So here's information about yes, indeed, we are 100 years old. Our birthday was February 14th when they disbanded the National Women's Suffrage Association. And they, on the same day that they disbanded that, they began the League of Women Voters. And it was pretty, and here in Nebraska and Omaha, we started same time. So there's that information, and then I'm going to tell you a few more things. Our league, the Nebraska League, was founded on June 15th, 1920 at the Blackstone Hotel in Omaha. And in fact, we were hoping to have a big celebration at the Blackstone, but we wouldn't be doing that for two reasons: a pandemic, and I don't believe it's open yet. But let's think about 2021, shall we? Do you want to be on that committee? Abby, I saw you shake your head. Let me know, or let Bridget know. I think Bridget is actually the one who came up with the Blackstone idea. Isn't that right? Am I right about that?
Yeah, it's gonna
be. Yeah, I think so.
It's going to be a beautiful remodel. I live close to it, and so I'm like, I want to join the pool so I can go there in the summer. I don't know if it's actually possible, but it would be great to do an event there for sure.
I agree. So we had a joint meeting with the Nebraska Women's Suffrage Association, and so this is what we believe this is all true. It's from a history by a woman named Ruth Godfrey Donovan for History Nebraska. The league sponsored televised general election presidential debates. I don't know if all of you know that, but I have run into people over the years who say, those debates were so good, you know, those those were the ones we all watched, the presidential debates on television. And why aren't you doing? You need to do that again. And so here's the explanation of why we don't. We did those. We had presidential debates and then primary forums, 1980, 1984, 1988. The debates focused on nonpartisan issues with a main goal of informing voters. As candidates demanded increasingly partisan conditions, however, the League withdrew its support of general election debates in 1988. Leagues around the country continue to hold debates and forums for local and state offices today, and that's absolutely true, especially here in Omaha. Every every other year, we have we co-sponsor with the Omaha Press Club debates for the 2nd congressional district. So I don't actually know what is happening this year. I mean, I'm guessing. I mean, it would be great if we could have something, but now that I think about it, I'm not involved in that, so I don't know if it's happening or not. But we've always had those at the press club, always been very well attended.
Yeah,
really
I can jump in. Mary Lee is working with them on that, and I believe that we are going to be participating in them in a virtual way.
Okay, that's great. In 2006, the League launched the next generation of online voter education with vote411.org, a one-stop shop for election-related information. Today, Vote 411 provides both general and state-specific nonpartisan resources to the voting public, including a nationwide polling place locator, a ballot lookup tool, candidate positions on issues, and more. Yes, so for the first time this year, we have contacted every single person in Nebraska who is running for office. So it's been a huge task and like completely done by volunteers. So we are amazing, yes, and we can use help from all members, new members too. And so that's you saw that Tony Monette was one of the people on our board. She's also on the state board, and she's the person who is coordinating all that. She and her co-director Carol Geisinger. So that's a great thing to know about is Vote 411. In June 2019, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that partisan gerrymandering cannot be solved by the federal courts. In response, the League initiated People-Powered Fair Maps, a coordinated effort across all 50 states and DC to create fair and transparent people-powered redistricting processes to eliminate partisan and racial gerrymandering nationwide. And it was really too bad. If it hadn't been for the pandemic, I'm sure we would have a referendum on the ballot for this fall to improve our redistricting, to have a redistricting panel and not a nonpartisan, something more like what Iowa has. And so that's not happening. So now we're gonna have to work through the legislature to make it happen, but we can do this. And then over the last century, we've fought for election protection, democratic reforms, and equal access to the ballot, all while maintaining our commitment to nonpartisanship and fostering an informed electorate. As we look into our next 100 years, we aim to build power for the next generation of women leaders and voting rights activists. That's why we're celebrating our 100-year milestone with a nationwide coordinated day of action called Women Power the Vote. All righty. Is this me? Sorry.
Yep.
Okay, so yes, we have more than 700 state and local leagues. We've got many members and supporters, 500,000 plus, and in 2018 we reached 10 million voters. I wonder how many we'll reach this year or have already reached. And then of course hundreds of voting rights victories and a few defeats, but let's not talk about that right now. Let's celebrate. Let's see, as of July 27th, 2020, we have 349 members in League of Women Voters of Greater Omaha. But that was July 27th, so now we have more, right? Because some of you right here are have increased our number. So thank you. It's a good, and we can always use more. So encourage your friends and whoever to take a look at the League.
Okay, like you see, we are governed by board of directors, and the board consisting officers and directors listed above on the slides. Members may become involved in board lead committees and activities. And like you see, we have new board members for the next year.
Okay, so we have a mission statement, which I'm going to go ahead and read these because I think they're really important. And they you know how it is. If you've ever worked on a mission statement, you know it takes days, weeks, months, years to come up with it with a committee and so on and so forth. But anyway, the League of Women Voters of Greater Omaha, a nonpartisan political organization, encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. Our vision statement is, we envision a democracy where every person has the desire, the right, the knowledge, and the confidence to participate. And the value statement is, we believe in the power of women. I find very inspiring.
It's yours, Linda.
Yeah, it is. I see that. So ever since we started, we have been doing studies. So where it says acts after study and member agreement to achieve solutions, because here's what happened. Way back in 1920, women got the right to vote. Women, you know, earned the right to vote, worked like crazy for the right to vote. And some people, men and women, their criticism was, well, you ladies don't really know anything about the issues, so you really shouldn't be voting. And we said, you know what, we will work on the issues. We will study the issues. We will. And so that's what we did. And it's an excellent way to study because we do the research, but we also interview everybody. Imagine we try to think of everyone on every side of the issue to talk to. And then we form a position, but then we run it by every member. It's called consensus. And so it's by the time we get finished, we've got a position. But now 100 years later, we have many, many, many positions on. And so during our meeting that we just had, where it talked about program, where we all voted on the program, what that was it's the program that we had already had in, and we didn't add anything new to it, and we didn't take anything out. What we were saying is what we had last year and the year before, we still agree with those platforms, the program, and so this is why we voted for that. So Holly asked the question, consensus versus majority. Yes, we really work to get consensus. Majority is, if that's the best you can do, then if we only, especially depends on how big a majority, right? But if we get just a very small majority on agreeing on a position, we sort of like, well, should we be working on this a little more, you know, because we want this to be, but I would guess we continue to, I guess, work on it is, I guess, how I would say it. And then, yes, we build citizen participation in the democratic process. I think that, well, you know, when Janice was talking about being an observer, I agree. And that is something you can do, even you're not at the Observer Corps breakout session right now, but you can be an observer and on your own, especially with all the virtual options, if you're at all interested in observing any body that makes decisions on our behalf. But also you can join in studies that we are doing. And so we don't have any coming up with the local league, but we are probably going to have one or two on the state league. So one of them is called Reimagining Public Safety. So that's sort of another way of saying defunding the police. So and so that's going to be one of them, probably, if the membership votes to initiate that study. And then another one is on money in politics. So both of those are super interesting, and you are welcome to join a committee to do that. And you don't, and actually we've had people who are not members to join those two, and that is perfectly fine. So anyway, when it says builds citizen participation, another thing we would do is to have forums and Zoom meetings and things like that, and that's another way. So, so done with that as far as goals. This is me again. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Holly says, I have a question. Do observers go to public meetings? And so you're saying yes. If you that is exactly what they do. And if you're going to go, I mean, you really need to get in touch with Terry Crawford, who is managing that. But yes, if you're interested in being an observer, please do get in touch with her, because you can go once they start being there in person. That's a really good way to do it. I mean, it's great to watch in a virtual way, to observe that way, but it's really also good to be there in person because they see that the league is represented. And you were saying gatherings, not meetings. You can unmute if you want to ask the question. So you might want to explain what you're asking, Holly.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I am asking about whether, and I was torn between sessions because I really wanted to know what this was, but I know I can watch it later. But briefly, are people going to observe things like at the gatherings in Omaha having to do with the protests?
That would not be an official. When we say Observer Corps, we mean observing our elected leaders. So it could be any of the boards. It could be the Natural Resources District. It could be OPPD, as Janice mentioned. It could be City Council, and it could be the legislature. I mean, I really recommend, if you have time to watch the legislature online or on television, to definitely do that. But
can I jump in real quick, Linda?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Just because Candid and I chatted with Terry a little bit yesterday about getting Observer Corps up and going. I don't think that we've fully worked it out yet, but we did talk about, kind of per Candid's recommendation, including some of the more community-based events in Observer Corps things. So basically, to your point, trying to go a little bit beyond official government meetings. So we talked about including sessions that are being hosted at like Culture House or by the pro-Black organization. So I think those are great ideas, and we were kind of already going in that direction thinking about it. So definitely just pay attention to some of the information we're going to be sending out about a meeting and a training. And I also think reaching out directly to Terry with that idea would be good as well.
Well, and to let her know that, you and Candid weren't the only ones who came up with that idea.
Right.
So, okay. Well, cool. Okay. That's good. Good. I'm so glad you brought that up, Holly. So you probably had a chance to read all of these beliefs and intentions. Does anyone have any questions about any of them? I think, and yeah, I have been, a lot of this has to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I've been, for the State League, I've been doing a leaderosity training. And by the way, it is free to every member of the league up until August 15th. And if anybody is interested in that, because it's an expensive training, but there are these 3 modules. It's really, really good. I've learned a lot, and I've only finished the first 2. I've started the 3rd module. Each module takes about maybe 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours. But I think it's really worthwhile. So we have been, I think the local league has been doing a wonderful job with DEI, with diversity, equity, inclusion, but the State League, we're slower to move. So.
Did you want me to advance the slide? Sorry, Linda.
Yep, it's ready.
Okay.
So Samantha, I just want to say to Sam, I know that you're interested, so I will send it to you, okay?
Okay.
Anybody else? Sorry, Laura, go ahead.
No, it's okay. No, we have to answer the questions first. So nobody have more questions for Linda? No? Okay, I will forward. Membership and area to serve. The League of Women Voters of Greater Omaha serve the Omaha metropolitan area. The League of Women Voters of Greater Omaha greatly appreciate those members who have and are already looking to find others in the community who are willing to support us. An annual membership to the League of Women Voters of Greater Omaha helps us to maintain the resource that we have so that everyone in the community can benefit from them. The League of Women Voters of Omaha does not require those that use our resource to become a member. Our information is free to the public. However, We do very much appreciate those that help us in any way and enable us to keep the public informed and active in the politic process.
On. Okay. Oh, sorry. Here I am. I'm trying to write at the same time. Is this me? Sorry that I've lost.
No problem.
Okay, here we go.
I think you are
Okay.
answering.
Yes, it's me.
Questions.
Okay. Okay. So the League of Women Voters does not endorse political candidates. We also don't oppose political candidates. That's what we call being nonpartisan. So we do not label ourselves as liberal or conservative. We do not strictly side with Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, or those who identify as Green Party members. So that's the nonpartisan part. We are political, as we mentioned, since we obviously have studied positions and we take positions. And then there's another. It says when you represent the League, it can be challenging to remain neutral. However, we always aim to be on the right side of history. So when I say we're nonpartisan, we are sometimes accused of not being of being partisan, but that doesn't mean that has more to do with the history, that has to do more with where our political where the continuum has gone rather than where we have gone. And so this publication is called Impact on Issues, and it has all of our national public policy positions. So it's the program for and if you're involved as a leader in the League, this is something you need to have, but it's easy to find. It's on I don't know if it's on our local website, but it's super easy to find on the New State website. And I hope you have seen the New State website because it's really good. At the same time, as I mentioned, we are political. Although the League of Women Voters does not endorse political candidates, we do take a stand on issues that arise in the arena that affect us all. The organization as a whole supports or opposes legislative bills. Not all legislative bills. Sometimes we take a neutral position. The deciding factors in deciding to oppose or support bills is directly influenced by whether or not the implementation of specific laws will hurt or help the communities in which we live. The League of Women Voters follows the policies and programs set forth by the National League of Women Voters as well as the State League. If there is no specific policy or program on a given issue, we can, and only after this study has been completed do we support or oppose an issue.
The League is a resource for the community. The League of Women Voters' large focus is to educate those in the community on how government works and how we can all be involved on it. We offer both information in our website to make it easy as possible to understand who is eligible to vote, how they can register to vote. We also pride ourselves in our ability to provide the community with unbiased information on candidates, what they stand for and against. We do this so that voters are informed and ready to vote on election day. The League members and volunteers are also trained and equipped to speak on numbers of topics. Anyone interested in booking a speaker engagement can call us or email us. We are more than willing to help you. The League's ultimate goal is to see democracy in action. The League of Women's Voters of Greater Omaha wants everyone to be informed and know how to take part in the democratic process. We aim to increase voter participation, educate citizens on the vote process, and see those around us actively taking part in government. Our ultimate goal is to see individuals around us standing up for what they believe and taking action on the political arena by voting and advocating for what they feel strongly about. Okay, so we will have 15 minutes so we can know each other. So Bridget, can we help me about that?
Yes, so since we're a small group, in the past when we've done this, we've done little breakouts within a breakout, but we're just gonna all introduce ourselves, and you can choose to answer both of these questions, or you can answer one of them, or I think to some extent answering one of them might capture the answer to the other, but we're really interested in finding out about what particular issue you might be passionate about right now, or what made you want to join the league in general. So I'm going to stop the screen share so that we can go around and do that. Don't know if anyone in particular wants to start first. I can also give a little start if you want.
I can start. I'll volunteer.
Okay.
I am Sam Klinkenbeard. I just joined yesterday or the day before, just a couple, I think it was a late night join even. To be honest, I don't know why I haven't joined earlier. I've always kind of followed, you know, the league on Facebook, and every year I always look to the voter guides and things when I'm trying to, you know, make my decisions about voting and so forth. Probably the urgency this week that made me just, you know, decide to get online and jump on was this recent talk about, you know, delaying election. And it, you know, it's kind of my, oh my gosh, you know, you talked about the goal is to see democracy in action. And so it was kind of my, you know, call to, I need to be involved with an organization that wants to protect, you know, our right to vote and democracy and so forth. So that's what got me here now, as opposed to, I don't know why I haven't joined previously. So I'm happy to be here.
Yay. Very
Okay, good.
I can go next.
Okay, who is?
Holly.
Holly?
Okay. Hi. My name is Holly. Hi. My name is Holly Bonacera, and I live up in Blair. And I joined earlier in the spring because I was concerned about the census and and worried a little bit about redistricting and you know, the fair distribution of resources to citizens based on the census. And I totally agree with you, Samantha. This concern about the election is very galvanizing. So I'm just interested in us having the rights that we are guaranteed in the Constitution and protecting those.
Okay, thank you.
I'm
Who's next?
Hi, this is Martha. My name is Martha Parker Love, and I've always loved the league, and I like what they stand for. My main objective is to, of course, the new position that I'm holding is to welcome new members and think of things that would be innovative for them when they come in, to feel comfortable and get them involved. And one of my main objects is to make sure that there aren't any obstacles in the way of people that handicap, or people that can't get around, or people that don't get the information, or people that don't understand the information about voting. And of course, I work beside my husband, who is Preston Love Jr., and our soul is to reach out to those that is left out. For instance, the high rise, their voting place was moved, which was right in their building, but they knew nothing about it. So immediately my husband got a grant together, got people together, made sure they got all the information, and we had the highest, in the primary, we had the highest voting group in 2 years. So that's my heart. And so it was done really fast. So anyway, that's my heart and my soul.
Beautiful.
I'm Linda Ori, and have again also been long interested in League. Have used your guide for a long time in my own voting. I retired in the last couple of years, was active in Medicaid Expansion Initiative, and am currently active with OTOC, Omaha Together One Community, but just decided it was time I needed to join and get involved. The Fair Maps campaign is a big interest to me, because I think if we don't get fairness in redistricting, we will continue to have partisan control of that.
Thank you.
I'll go next.
Okay, good.
I'm Abby Cape. I, like many others, have been meaning to get involved for a very long time. It was actually my New Year's resolution, and better late than never. And just all the news lately about voter suppression and lies about mail-in voting and changing the election date, and all of this just made me realize that it's now or never. So it was just time to get involved, and serendipitously, the meeting was like 3 days after I joined, so yay.
Thank you. Okay, who's next?
I can go next.
Okay.
Oh, let me see if I can do my video here. My name is Iris Cervellon.
Okay. Oh, good.
And really hi.
Hi.
And what really prompted me to join, you know, I have been, again, meaning to join, but I'm really concerned about the political climate that we're living in right now. Oh my gosh. You know, there's so much. I don't even know where to start. But for the Latino population, it's definitely very important. I talked to so many Latinos that are very concerned about it, but they're not voting. You know, they're not getting out there. And I'm like, well, how can I help to engage, you know, our communities and basically get them a little bit more involved and actually exercise the opportunity to vote and the privilege to vote, because they can change those decisions. So that's what prompted me to join and try to help out and get involved as much as I can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm Lori Tatro, and also, like many of you, I've been wanting to get involved for a long time. Only just found extra funds to do the membership, and certainly felt like a now or never. This is really time to get more deeply involved. And I just finished an MPA last summer in nonprofit management. I work for the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, and lots of opportunities, I think, to work with you guys and through them. So happy to be here.
Thank you. Who else?
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Sarah. Hi. I'm Sarah. I'm new. I'm, of course, like everyone else, I'm passionate about voting, and I'm concerned about, you know, some of the recent goings on. I had volunteered with my county to work as a poll worker this time, although I myself will be voting by mail. And I just was looking for some other opportunities to get more involved in the whole process. I'm concerned about, you know, the districting lines and the voting suppression and the post office and all the things that are, and the delay of the date potentially. I was just concerned about a lot of those things, and I'm passionate about making sure that everyone gets to vote and about just equity in general, and just wanted to find some other ways to get more involved.
Thank you.
Hi there, can I go next?
Yeah, sure.
I'm Laura Grams, and I have been wanting to join the League for a long time, and so the timing was serendipitous, like someone else just said, happened to join a few days ago, and they said, we're having a meeting. But no, I'm very kind of passionate about nonpartisan politics. I've been in Nebraska my whole life, and I like the fact that we have a nonpartisan legislature, and I feel like, in the same way you said that the League is often accused of being partisan, even though it's really like the things around it that have changed rather than the League itself. I think I feel that way too. Like, I've been nonpartisan, and then as the world has changed around me, suddenly my position has gotten way over on one side as opposed to where I was before. So I'm very passionate about helping people register to vote, to making sure that there's no disenfranchisement of voters. I feel like there's been a lot of decisions about polling places and ballot access and all this type of stuff that is really concerning, that people are losing out on access to voting just through what seem like innocuous rule changes, but they actually have a really devastating effect. And so I'd like to work on those kinds of issues. And I'm also really excited about working on voter education, because one of the things I've always liked best about the League is that I always read your voter guide. That's how I decide who to vote for on every election that isn't a major office. I go down that list and read those responses, and it is invaluable. So I think that's just an incredible service, and I hope to help with that. Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
I'll go next, and then you'll be last, I guess, Laura. Is that how we're doing this?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm Linda Duckworth, and I joined because, I mean, it's been so long ago, I don't remember why I joined, but I'm pretty sure it had to do with everything that you guys have talked about. And at the moment, I am co-president of the League of Women Voters of Nebraska with Diane Bystrom. And I want to once again mention our new website, because on there is an area where you can join committees. And so I think it'd be great because I see all of you, you're really ready to get involved, I think. And so there are lots of different ways to do that. And so look at those committees and see if any of those appeal to you, because for the next however long it's going to be pretty easy to get together with those committees, by Zoom. So, and if you ever have any questions, I really am very happy to talk to new members. And I don't get enough phone calls, I don't get enough texts, I don't get, from new members. So come on, don't make me feel so sad. If you have questions, just speak up. So I think that's all that I need at this time.
Okay, thank you, Linda. My name is Laura Torres de Rivera, and I became a citizen 2016 in February, just in time to vote. And right away, the same day I became a citizen, I'm registered to vote. And I know about the League, and joined the League, and I try to learn. It's a little complicated sometimes to understand your system, but I'm here, yeah. And I'm still learning, and I still fighting, and no matter what, where we are and where I am, I will, of course, I will fight for democracy. So I'm here, and I will be, and I'm happy if someone wants to talk to me and about the League. I'm learning a lot, and I'm still learning. So please feel free, call me, email me. I'm always here, so feel free, please. Or
I'm so happy to have been co-director with you, Laura, and I've loved working with you and other.
I learned about with you and about you, and I'm really glad to work with you. Really, believe me. It was a nice year, and with a lot of challenges and everything. So it was a great year. So thank you for to work with you. So
Linda is a super lady.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay, next thing.
Okay.
Well, I'm Bridget. I won't do.
I forgot you, Bridget. I'm sorry.
Fine. I mean, I've been introduced. I won't do a whole spiel of my interests because everything pretty much has already been said. But the next part, I know we're nearing 12, but we're going to keep going till the end. The next part is really just going to be talking about all of the different programs that we offer through the League. Obviously, a lot of you are familiar with voter registrations and the voter's guide and that kind of thing, but this is literally everything we do. So it's a lot of information. If you need to get off early, totally understand. We're recording this, so you'll have access to it. And then I will also send the PowerPoint to all of you afterwards. But without further ado, we'll go back into the PowerPoint and get into all of our programs, what we do.
Okay, what we do in local work in action.
I think this is me. Is that right, Laura?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you can. These were all listed in the new member packet that you received by way of email. I'll just say voter services, get out the vote. This is what many new members do. They want to actually register voters, and so it shows all that. And you can see that even very recently, we've been doing it. We've been at some of the demonstrations and things like that. So it's possible to actually do some of that in person. But there are other ways to be involved. So that's a great one. Those three co-directors are all quite amazing.
Yeah, and they did a lot of phone banking in the primary as well to encourage people as well. So in addition to just physical voter registrations, there'll be opportunities with that coming up.
And I think a texting program too, am I right? I believe that was, yeah, okay. Oh, there it is, text messages, yeah, okay. Go Vote Omaha, yes, if you have any interest at all in helping produce a TV program, this is just the coolest thing that we do, because we have forums. This is one way we do our candidate forums. We have had lots of them. Linda says, what email would the new member packet have come from? It would have come from Candid, I believe. I can make a note about that. Or maybe, Bridget, can you do that? Make a note that Linda maybe didn't get it.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, we have it's on public access, but also, as we mentioned, we have a YouTube channel. That's a great way to access it. And so if you have any interest in helping to come up with programs, help with contacting candidates for these forums, if you're interested in being a host on camera, there's just all kinds of good possibilities. The Voter's Guide, this is or there where it says produced in English and Spanish. Laura has been really helpful with that, as well as Lilia, who was also in the meeting, and others. So anyway, one thing that's really important is to get the candidates to actually answer the questions. So part of that is finding candidate information so we can even ask them, because they're not required to give much contact information. So it can involve some sleuthing to get numbers and things like that for them. There's plenty of work to do there too. And this is, that's local, but you can also help on the state level. So once again, our website, Dine and Discuss. As I mentioned, we just had one Monday evening with Adi Poor. They're usually either the last or the fourth Monday of the month. And they used to be in person where we would eat. We would have a program, and now we can eat if we want, but anyway, it's Zoom. And then we started Lunch and Learn just kind of like early this winter, or like in January, February. And then before long, we had to just change that up. So now we're calling it Listen and Learn for the time being while we do the Zoom thing. And that, you know what, I want to give a shout out to the one about the Great Plains the Great Plains Black History Museum. That was so good. I couldn't catch all of that all the time while that was going on, but it was like a tour and it was fabulous. But it's been recorded, right, Bridget?
All of these get recorded and go onto our YouTube channel.
It's on the YouTube channel. Okay, so I'd definitely recommend that. And this one with Brad, this is all really good too. So,
and be on the lookout for the one for both the Dine and Discuss and Lunch and Learn in August. For the Listen and Learn, we're going to be having 2 sessions with Black and Pink, which is an Omaha-based prison abolition organization, and they're going to talk kind of similarly about defunding the police. And the second session will include a panel of LGBTQ folks talking about their experience with the criminal legal system. And then the Dine and Discuss, I think I mentioned in the earlier meeting, we're going to hopefully host some of the youth activists that have led protests in Omaha over the summer.
And I would say if any of you have suggestions for what you would like to see, like to have presented, please contact Bridget or Candid.
Absolutely. Really, all of these topics that I just said and the ones we've had over the summer have come directly from suggestions that our members have made to us.
Observer Corps. So this is what Terry is talking about right now, and I hope that you will. We have talked about it a little bit. So you can do it in as I mentioned, a very informal way by just on your own observing these. Like if for instance you're interested in OPPD, you can go to their website and you can. I think you just even type in something like watch meeting or something like that. But it's not too hard to find, and you can you can watch, they record them, so you can, and I don't know that this is every entity, I don't think it is, but, and if it isn't, and if they should be doing it, let's talk about that. Let's say there are these sunshine laws, you should be, you know, it should, this is something that citizens should be able to observe, and we have certainly done that before. We have, I myself have gotten up there and scolded them about not being open, okay, so. Daytime book club, that is, I don't know if they are meeting at the moment, but do you know, Bridget, have you talked to?
Candid and I don't think that they are, but it's on our list to reach out to both Bev and Karen, so we'll see. But I guess a segue is that there's also an evening book club that Crystal runs, and that is meeting currently via Zoom.
Yeah. You can find that information in our bulletin. Same with the documentary club, and both of those were mentioned in the earlier meeting. And Crystal invited you. Running and winning. This is our thing, isn't it, Laura? Sort of Bridget's as
yeah,
well.
it's more yours.
Well, yeah. So this is such a great program. Oh my gosh. We've been doing it, let's see, gosh, for 12 or 14 years, I forget. It's been quite a while. So we invite about 50 high school girls. It's during the week. They are able to get off school. They come and they're from 4 or 5 different high schools, and they get to meet women who are serving in elected office or have served in elective office. So they, like in small groups, everybody's at a table, and we put these groups together. They don't get to be with girls from their own high school. They're all mixed up, and they form a team though, because they meet with these women, but then they are tasked with running a mock campaign. And so what you see here in this picture is they've chosen one of their members to be the candidate. So she's the one speaking, and the others they are like taking on one of them is a speechwriter, one of them is a publicist. I forget what they all are, but anyway, and they all have to have a poster. So, and there is an issue that they have to grapple with. So and what we just love is reading. Every single year we read the evaluations, and they just get so much out of it, and they learn so much, and they love it. They really do. So definitely a feel-good committee.
Yeah, and even for us, be there, it's really, really nice, and really you can learn a lot.
And you can only be there if you're a committee member, because there's not that much space for.
Yeah, but it's really, really nice program.
Yeah. The Kim Culp Juvenile Justice Forum, named after a member of ours who died suddenly and tragically about 3 years ago. Anyway, she was very involved in juvenile justice, and so many people who have spoken at this forum knew her. And so anyway, we continue. It's a really, and it's, once again, I believe I can't remember if it's every other year. I guess it's every year. But anyway.
I believe it's biennial.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that would be Joanna is the one.
And I want to say that they were going to actually host it this spring, but that it was canceled or postponed due to COVID. Yeah. So hopefully we'll have information about its change date and information at some point.
We always have big shots at that thing. And then, as I mentioned, the State League, I'm co-president, and there's lots to do with voter services. That's Carol Geisinger and Tony Monette, and then these other committees also. So if you have any interest in those, I really hope you will come to our annual meeting for the State League. We used to have state convention, but then you had to be a delegate. We have changed that so that everybody is invited. We really encourage all members to consider yourself a delegate, because if you're a member, you're a delegate. So we have the monthly bulletin out, and that's online. That just, you kind of have to watch your email, and it might be, for me with my computer, it's under promotions sometimes. Bye, Linda. Great to have you. Thank you. And then, of course, social media, lots and lots. You can get lots of information on that. And as it mentions, we welcome your suggestions, and we speak with one voice. Here's something that's important. When you are sending a letter to the editor or testifying before the legislature, which we certainly encourage you to do, you because you are not the president, or you should not reference the League of Women Voters. You should speak for yourself. However, if you, but it's possible that you can speak as the president, or you can be designated by the president. So a lot of our board members do testify on their own after consultation with the presidents. So that's how that is. Okay. Any questions, anybody? Any comments? Feel free to unmute yourself.
Doesn't look like it.
All right.
Okay.
We ended late, but not horribly late.
No, I hope so.
Thank you so much for being on.
In here too, so we were really on time. We did it.
That's right. You're right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we moved along, didn't we?
Yeah.
Iris says thank you. Yes, thank you for being here, Iris.
Thank you for everybody to be here.
Yes, thank you. Expect, look for this in the mail from me, the information about the Leaderosity training, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And I'll send PowerPoint to people. And then again, for those of you that are new members, you'll probably receive your first bulletin, which is going to have a recap of all the events that we just talked about and information about Observer Corps sometime early next week.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Bridget, for the help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you all.